We are live. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Good evening. Welcome to day 12 of our 31 days challenge. I'm so glad to have you all back here again. It's been a roller coaster for us. We've had from day one, and this is day 12. Okay, so as usual, as you already know, my name is Rachel Okpako. I am your family coach and the host for today's presentation or today's show, whatever we call it. All right. So if you are here, please, you can leave us a comment. So let's know that you are here. Let's see you here. We want to feel your presence. Yesterday we had a challenge, and we talked about we talked about encouraging the passions and the interests of our children as parents. Okay. So today we want to focus on ourselves. All right, yesterday we talked about if we are good models when it comes to personal growth and aspirations for our children. So today we want to focus on ourselves, especially us mothers. All right, especially mothers. So, what are our roles, which we discussed yesterday, and what should we do when it comes to interests, when it comes to our identity? What should we do? Okay, so before we go on, we have a guest. All right. Okay. Before I introduce our guest, our topic for today is rediscovering and nurturing your identity as a mother amid the demands of parenting. Okay. I'm sure we've all seen it before we joined. Rediscovering and nurturing identity as mothers. Okay. So, you know that the transition into motherhood is something that comes most times for some persons very unprepared. All right, most times we don't know how exactly we are going to find it. We're just going without thinking about it carefully, without having a plan. Okay, and then you know that it's really crazy from attending to toddlers to infants in diapers to school runs. Imagine going through school runs from most children begin school or they start school as early as 1 plus 2 years, sometimes up to 16, 17. You're still going out morning, afternoon, picking them up, dropping them off in school. So
Yeah,
sometimes it can be so overwhelming. All right, I think
overwhelming.
this is
Yes.
the basis for our discussion today. This is the basis. It can be so overwhelming, and it's really a whirlwind for a lot of us mothers. And in the midst of all this, I feel like we lose some sense of our identity, or even all of it,
Yeah.
or even all of it. So this is what we want to talk about today. We are super moms, yes. We love our children so much. We want to give them everything. Most times we give them our all, our time. We give them everything. But how do we strike a balance? We're also individuals with our own interests, with our own passions. How do we strike this balance? All right. So this is what we want to talk about today. And we have a special guest in our midst. You when I saw her introductory remark, I was blown up. I was overwhelmed. Like, what is this? You need to hear from Dr. Lynn. All right, Dr. Lynn Idrabe is an author, an inspirational coach, a public speaker, a founder of or the founder of the Learn Zone Leadership Network and the Learn Zone Foundation. She has a bachelor's degree in business education, a master's degree in educational management, a doctoral degree in leadership and policy, a diploma in human resource management. In fact, this is just like a tip of the iceberg. I'm not going to read out everything. All
Please.
right. We should just know who we have here with us. All right. She says our priority in life is to add value to others, which I'm sure we're about to become recipients of. She is a mentor, she's a coach, she's a teacher, she's a leadership coach. And by the way, she's the author of two books, 28 Traits of an All Round Optimist, The Gold Digger Mentality. Guys, you need to check those books out. All right, she's married with three amazing kids. So we have someone that is not just coming out of the blues. She has the experience of motherhood. All right, she has three kids. So we want to hear from Dr. Lynn today. Can we welcome Dr. Lynn Udrabe? All right, so before you go on, before you start, Dr. Lynn, I want us to
Yes,
start
please.
with what identity means to us mothers. What does
Mm.
identity mean to us? Why is it important for us to talk about this? Why is it important for us to talk about it? Why should we pay attention to our identity as mothers?
Yeah. Okay, a very good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me at least to a large
Okay, so
extent? Can
sorry,
you hear
before you go
me?
on, I want to be sure that everyone can hear you. If you can hear Dr. Lynn, please can you leave a thumbs up or an emoji, please? I want to be sure that we can all hear her. Can you hear Dr. Lynn, please?
Oh, they have to hear me. Is okay. Hi, I'm on. Okay, someone said it's
Can you
on.
hear Dr. Lynn?
Please, can you hear me?
All
Because it's
right.
very important
Yes. Okay.
that you
Someone
can
said
hear
yes,
me.
we can. All right. So
Oh,
you can go
great.
on, Dr. Lynn. You can go on, please.
All right. All right. So it's a pleasure to be here. I'm so happy to be on the show. I want to say a
But
big
I
thank
can't
you
hear
to
you though. I can't hear you
Oh
though. I
my
don't know
God.
why.
Not at all. Not even a bit. Okay, let me try without my headset while I talk. Can you hear
I
me
don't know why I
now?
can't hear you.
Is it better now? Is it any
Uh,
better?
not really.
Okay. Oh my God.
I can't hear you.
So how do we tackle this? Because virtual meetings communication is key. Without hearing each other is
I
almost
can't hear
like,
her. Come on.
oh my God, what's
What's going on?
happening? What's happening? Let me unmute and mute.
It is. I
Hey,
don't know why it's coming from my own end.
is it better? Is it any better?
Uh,
Sometimes these things happen.
is it better? Is it any better? All right. So just go on. I'll use a substitute.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so
Okay, it's
just
still
go on. I'll use the
echoing. Okay,
substitute. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so
okay. So can you hear me now? Is it any better?
yeah.
Oh, good. Not today. Oh, come
Coach,
on.
I'm the host for today. Not really.
Okay, so
Okay, I think you should just go on.
okay. But are you sure someone can hear me? Like the audience, can they hear me? Because that's what's most important. Someone has to be hearing, else. Oh.
All right, go on, please.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say a big thank you to you and the drip of love, and I really want to appreciate you for what you're doing. It's a real pleasure to be here today, and I feel so bad that the audio is having issues,
Okay,
but
so first of all, I want to say big thank you
notwithstanding,
today.
yeah,
It's a
we
real
would
pleasure to
keep
be here
going on.
today,
But
and I feel
there's
so
an
bad
echo
that the
somewhere.
audio is having issues. Okay, but so first of all, I want to say big thank you today.
I think
Yeah,
there's
it's
an
a real pleasure to be
echo.
here
So
today.
is there a
But
device
there's
close
an
to
echo
you?
somewhere. Issues. Okay, but
Okay, is there a device somewhere close to you because it's echoing right back into my sounds?
all right.
Oh my.
Okay,
This is not,
what's going
but we're
on?
going to get back. Yes. So you can't hear me at all, like not at all.
Okay, I guess they can hear you, though I can't hear you.
Oh my God. Okay.
So everyone, can we end the live and start it again? Oh, but no, we
I
can't
think it would
really
be
do that.
nice.
We can't really do
Yeah.
that immediately because it's already scheduled.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay, but if they can hear you, maybe I'll just get an extra.
okay. All right. So thank you so much. All the same, we do not have a choice but to continue. Nothing is going to stop us. So the thing
All
is,
right, go on, please.
the question, yeah, the question you asked is very vital. You said that what is identity, especially to a mother, especially to a parent. What is your identity? What is that thing that makes you who you are, regardless of the fact that you have children, you have a husband, you have responsibilities? How do you know yourself? How do you continue to be who you are? How do you metamorphose from who you used to be to someone that is better wherever life meets you? So it's very important that as mothers, as parents, we still try to know our identity. Our identity is basically who we are, regardless of the weight of parenting, regardless of the weight of motherhood, regardless of the weight of our goals. Who are you? That is your identity. So the most important thing as a parent is, in as much as you want to nurture your home and your family, it's also good that you identify yourself. You know who you are, you know your path, you know where you are headed. So I think it's not so fair that being a parent is an excuse not to know who you are, or not to know your purpose or the path for which you have been called, or the purpose God has called you for, the area of your life that is most vital, that thing that will give you the grace to add value to others. So it's very important that in as much as we are parents, we should still maintain our identity, which is our purpose. Can you hear me? Is there even a chance that you can hear me? Oh my god. Oh my god. Can you hear me please? Can you hear me? Oh. So is there anything we can do to help?
Yes, I can hear you, please. Go on.
Yay!
I can hear you
Good,
now.
good, good,
Just
good.
go
I'm
on.
happy. I'm happy. So thank you. I'm going to take it all over again for the benefit of communication. So thank you so much once again, Drip of Love, for having me, and thank you for the show. I
All
really
right.
want to
Thank you
commend.
so much, Dr.
Yeah,
Lynn.
I really want to commend the good work you're doing. You're doing amazingly well, and we need this. We need such platforms, right? Because a lot of people are out there. There's so much information, but they do not know what is right, what is of value. But when you have godly
Okay.
principles in a show like this, is amazing. So I want to thank you first of all. And your question is, what is our identity? So I would like to say that as parents or as mothers, our identity is who we are, regardless of the weight of parenting, regardless of the weight of motherhood, regardless of the weight of relationships, regardless of the weight of our goals. So our identity is basically who we are, how we find ourselves, what is our purpose, what is our path, what we are doing to maintain those things that God has called us to do. So that's basically our identity from my perspective. Thank you. So can you hear me? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who we are. Yes, I can hear you, please. Who we really are. I think, I think, I think, I think I like that point where you said our identity is who we are. All right. But I feel like a lot of times, a lot of mothers go into motherhood without even knowing who they are.
True.
Okay. So most times when we go into motherhood, not knowing who we are, we become overwhelmed with the whirlwind of the whole of the no, we're not just attending to our children, we have a
Yeah.
marriage on the other end. So many things overwhelm us. Okay, the feeling, and then we begin to also feel the pressure to be that perfect mother, even in
Yeah.
the midst of the chaos. Okay, and that, I think they call that parental burnout, which is about one of the major issues in motherhood, where we
Yeah.
feel the need to be so perfect. We want to be everything to our children, everything
Mm.
to everyone, because we feel the need to be the role models our children need to follow. So
Yeah.
now let's look at some of the challenges we face as mothers. What are some of these challenges we face in maintaining this sense of identity?
Okay. So thank you so much for that question. I'll use myself as an example, right? My own journey, motherhood, was really tricky because when I started off with challenges with conceiving. So my own level of perfection was 200% when the baby started coming, because all I wanted to do was, oh, God has given me the children I asked for. So I need to be so perfect. They need to come out so perfect. In fact, they should be angels on earth. So the challenges of motherhood is diverse and it's sometimes overwhelming. You have your husband to cater for, you have your children, you have your in laws, you have your own family. You need to also be there for them. Then, if you have a job or a business, that will also be pulling at you. Society is also asking of you, what kind of children are you raising? So you also want to impress your family, your friends. You want people to know that you're getting it right as a parent. There's so much pressure. You want to get it right by all means. The challenges of even being a wife is quite enormous, because you want to also be the one to, you want to show that you are still that person that he saw and he said he loves and he wants to get married to. You want to make perfect meals. You want to give variety in the kitchen. You still want to look okay. You don't want to look like a villager, right? You want the children to speak well. You want them to pronounce words well. You want them to be polite. So much pressure. You want your in-laws to be impressed with what you are doing. That, oh, you're
Mm,
a good wife, you're a good mother. So the challenges are so much. However, one thing is certain: with or without those challenges, you still have a name, you still have a role, you still have you. So, in as much as we want to meet up with all the various hats that we wear as mothers, you want to be a cook, a doctor, a lawyer, an advocate, a teacher, all this is encompassed in being a parent. But you still have you. And the earlier you begin to develop you, the better you become as a parent or as a mother. I strongly believe so. Yeah. Okay.
okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much. The better you become, the more you discover yourself, the better you become. Because the I feel like the guilt and stress is so much.
So
So most
much.
times we are forced to put on this perfection because of guilt. Okay,
Yes.
so what would they say if I'm not able to do this? What would they
Yes.
say
Yes.
right now? People feel you shouldn't have a help. All right, societal
Yes.
expectation, like you said, if you have a help helping you at home, it's like
You're
you're not a
lazy.
very good mother who will watch them when you're not around and all that. So I feel like it is so much. Yes, you're lazy. But before we delve into nurturing and nurturing our identity, I want us to look at navigating some of these demands. Let's look at navigating some of these demands. When it comes to, I just mentioned having a help at home.
Yes.
All right, there are so many other demands that the society puts on us, that amasses this pressure on us. How do we navigate them? How do we navigate them?
Okay. So thank you so much for this. In fact, my journey has been amazing because I was having kids, I was going to school, I was doing business at the side, I was working. It was a whole lot. But there are certain principles that has helped me over the years. And I would qualify them as maybe the 10 P's, right? Of nurturing yourself and nurturing your identity, even as a parent. The first one is putting God first. God is everything. By the time you put God first, it's easy for you to know when God is speaking to you as regards your purpose, and when It is self that is talking. So for me, it's God first. In fact, those years while I was waiting for the children to come gave me a deeper relationship with God. So it has always been God first. So that is one way to navigate. So when it gets overwhelming, you go back and shabalege zone tayabada. You go and blast in tongues a bit. You go and sing a few songs that will awaken your spirit. You go and read some scriptures. So God first. Yes, God first. Thereafter, in God first, you're also prophesying. You know what you're looking out for. You know your beliefs. You know your belief system. You know what you stand for. Because so anybody that doesn't stand for anything will fall for anybody that stands for nothing will fall for anything. So as a parent and as a mom, you first of all put God first. You prophesy and you pray. As regards the children as they are coming, as regards your goals, as regards your spouse, I know you know all these things. So when you put God first, it's easy for you to navigate basic things. It's easy for you to push yourself up when you're getting overwhelmed because it's really overwhelming sometimes. Thereafter, you move on. You begin to plan. Planning is key. He who does not plan has already planned to fail. If I'm a working mom, what things have I put in place to ensure that I'm able to manage my work and manage the home front? Of course, in this time and age, once in a while you need a help, you need someone to be there for you. In as much as you need that, there are still some parent moms that can do without it. It's fine. There's no law that you must have someone to help. But if you can have someone to help too, it's also perfectly okay. But planning is key. Weekly plan, monthly plan, daily plans. And everybody in your house knows these plans. Is it your menu for the week? Is it the uniforms, how they are arranged? Like, okay, from Monday to Thursday, we have them fixed. So it's just to pick them up. Is it arranging things in the morning before you leave? Is it planning for service, planning for church? Is it planning for the things that you need to do for family, that your extended family? Is it planning for travels? So planning is key. So when you put God first, the next thing is to plan. How you want tomorrow to be depends on how you have done today, what you are doing today. So after you put planning, then you begin to seek your purpose. What is my purpose? Apart from being a mom to these children, what is my message? Because parenting is simply caretakers. We're all caretakers. So when you know that your role is to take care of them for this period, then you think of what value you are giving them, what value you are giving their father that gave you the responsibility to be their mom, what value you are giving society by training them right. So that when you turn them into the world, they are giving value too. So there's transfer of value. So first, you put God. Secondly, you plan. Thirdly, you find your purpose in parenting. When you are sure that you have gotten that right, you begin to prioritize. What are my priorities? What am I putting first? Family, God first, family next. Even in family, what are the things that are most important to us? What are our values as family? What comes first before I now think about other things I can do? You know, some women are gifted, so maybe they have some businesses they do, they have certain things they do. But if you do not prioritize, something will suffer. I remember when I was going to school, I was working, I was having kids, I was still going to school. It was not a walk in the park. That means I will sleep later than everybody else because I'll put everything in order. Pack lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ensure that this is in place. By the time I leave work and go to school, I'm coming back with the expectation that I'll meet them up, pack them back home, except that that's available, prepare them for the next day, wake up in the night to read. But I have to prioritize family first. So imagine that I say, oh, because I want to be an A student in my master's degree and my PhD degree, then my children will be left, something will suffer. And that price, I cannot pay it because that time will pass. Time is your most essential commodity as a mother.
Yes.
Because my son is 15, the next one, the second one is 13 plus, the girl is 11. So imagine that I do not have time for them when I was going to school. There will be certain gaps in their life that in as much as we live in the same house, I was not part of their growing up. That's the truth. So when you have finished when you put God first, you plan, you must prioritize. By prioritizing, you're making them know that you value them as much as you are trying to find yourself. So children need to know that, oh, my mom is there for me. In as much as I'm independent, she also comes to check, what are you doing at school? What work have you done? What homework did you do? How are your grades like? And all of that. She cooks our meals, regardless of how busy she is. She still comes to the kitchen to cook the things that we love to eat. After you prioritize, you need to also make everybody participate in your growth plan. You plan to go back to school, you plan to start a business, let them be involved. Like I have a speaking engagement, I have this show today. My husband is involved. Say, what's the topic? What have you prepared? Do you want us to listen to what you have to say? Everybody is involved. What am I wearing? Do you think this is okay? I asked my son, what do you think? Should I wear this particular week? Should I change it? Come and see my background for the for the live show. Is it okay? So everybody feels involved in your growth or your path or your identity. Then people don't feel left out. Because that's most of the challenges some women have or some mothers have is by the time they begin to chase their goals in the name of holding on to their identity, they lose family. So it's not a walk in the park. We have to, there's a lot to put on the table. But remember that in as much as you prioritize, ensure that the members of your family are also participants in your growth plan. So when you win, everybody say it is all of us. Yes, we did it. But if it's all about you, you leave family out of it. So you are not able to nurture your home as much as you nurture your identity. So there has to be that balance, right? So then we have to push as mothers. You keep pushing. There's no, they say that success is, the road to success is
Yes.
always under construction. So you keep pushing. You want them to do well at school, you push. You also want to grow yourself, you push. You just keep pushing. It's an endless journey because success is not a destination, it is a journey. So, as a mother, as a parent, you just keep pushing. You be persistent. Then, of course, you protect them. That's the old another way to ensure that you're on track. Protect their interests, protect the interest of your family. There are certain times when I may even have some event to attend and my son needs me. I'll have to cancel. I'll put him first, and he knows that that is a sacrifice doing for him, and it makes him feel valued as a child. So in as much as we want to identify ourselves, we have to also protect our family, protect their interests, protect our children, protect our values as a family. Know when we have to cut down some things so that we can gain some things. Our spirituality, our bonding time, our time together as a family, our appraisal time. These are key things that keep you on top while you're chasing your goals and while you're trying to discover yourself or your identity. Another thing, to pay attention to details. If you are on a path of growth, you have to
Thank you
identify.
so much, Dr. Lynn.
Thank you so much too. If you allow me, I'll just keep going on and on and on and on and on. So thank you. I hope I'll be able to answer
Thank you
that.
so much.
Yeah.
Now, yes, and I love this part of this life because it just makes us understand that yes, we have our personal identities, but we cannot pursue our identities while we allow our families suffer.
So far, yes.
Yes, we have to strike. There has to be a balance somewhere. So now I want us to talk briefly. All right, we don't have a lot of time, but I want us to talk briefly exactly I how we can identify these interests and passions. How can we identify? Because a lot of moms are confused, like they don't know what to do because they don't have a lot of time, they're overwhelmed, they don't know how to even go about it. I feel like they lost it at some point and they find it very difficult retracing the steps. Okay, so what can we do as mothers?
Okay, thank you so much. As mothers, I think the first thing we have to do is, first of all, our major assignment is the home. If you settle home, you can leave home for a while. But if you do not settle home, there'll be gaps, right? So before you can even identify, you can go on a growth path. You must identify your strengths. What are your strengths? What are you good at? Even before you became a mom. What are those things? What were your dreams and aspirations? If you've lost it, you can retrace your steps. You can go back, start journaling, start reading books, start having mentors in particular areas that you love. Right? Some people, not everybody can do business. So if you're not into business, not like, oh, somebody's selling shoes, I want to go and sell. No. You must identify what you are good at first. Your own path may not be buying and selling. Your own path maybe lies in working for somebody else. Your own path may be buying and selling. Your own path may be giving services, but you must identify it. When you identify it, find time to grow yourself in that path. Fine, the children are growing, you have a lot of responsibilities, but there's no time until you create it. So you must create time for your growth, create time for your mental health, create time for your health, create time for your finances, create time for
Mm.
basic things, your spirituality, create time for your goals and aspirations. You have to create time. So, in as much as some people are confused, sometimes it's the laziness of the mind to think. Most times our confusion comes with looking at what everybody's doing. So if you look outside, you won't find it. You have to look inward.
Yes.
What is in me? What are my strengths? What am I good at? From the inside, then you begin to work it out outside. But if you keep looking at what other people are doing, you'll be confused. Hey, it's like it's hair that is raining now. People are selling hair. Oh, it's like this person has gotten a job here. Oh, it's like it's this. You'll be confused. Look inwards and find out what you used to dream of, what you are good at, and begin to shaping it. If you need mentorship, if you need to attend courses, if you need to grow yourself, you have to find that path. No one can do it for you. Because if you ask me, what do you think I should do? I'll say, go and start writing books because I love books. I'll say, go and start public speaking. Go and start coaching. Go and start teaching. But because I know that your part is not mine, it is something you must do for yourself. So every mother out there, please take time out to rediscover you, self-awareness, self-leadership, self-management. In that way, you become self-aware enough to discover who you are. Motherhood is fantastic. But even with all of that overwhelming task, there's also a place for you. That time you spend on Netflix or TV or on the phone is enough to learn a course, sincerely. So there's time if you create it. So
Yes.
that's my little bit, my perspective. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm. I think I love the fact that you've talked about scheduling our time. You've talked about prioritizing what is most important to us. I feel like most times we do not manage our energy as mothers.
It's
Okay,
true.
we don't manage our energies. The time we use um our high energies for, the things we do when we're on our high energy are what we're supposed to do at low energy moments. Okay,
True.
so there are times that we just woke up from sleep. Yes, we're trying to arrange the children, but they've gone to school, or they've gone to or they are a little settled on their own. We can actually take time, read a book, take time, do
Yes.
something that will appeal to our mental health. But
Yes.
most times I feel like that's when we go and say, oh, we want to start cooking, we want to start washing clothes, and then we become so overwhelmed. Meanwhile, we can do those things
Yeah.
maybe later in the evening, when we don't really
Mm-hmm.
need to use so much of our brain to do things. Okay, so she
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
prioritizing involving the family. Okay, balancing it, involving the family. I think I love that a lot. Balancing, striking a balance is very important,
Yeah.
because if we chase our
Mm.
dreams, at the end of the day, something must suffer. We can't have everything.
Yes.
One thing must suffer. One thing must suffer. Okay. You also talked about delegating tasks. I feel like that's one aspect that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of mothers find very difficult. We don't like delegating. We want to do everything. We want to carry everything on our heads. until we get so tired and break down. And
Tired.
then you find out that when you break down, it will go on. That thing you are breaking your head for will still go on. All
Exactly,
right? Your
exactly.
children will still be taken care of. So we need to learn to build independence in our children so that it will reduce the stress. Okay, so Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn, before we go, I want you to just
Yes, please.
I want you to give just a few words to those that are not married or those that are still expecting children. Okay,
Mm.
because a
Yeah.
lot of times it's very difficult to explain the chaos that comes with it. So, what
Yes.
can you say to them in when it comes to in terms of preparation? What can you say?
Okay. Well, I'll be very proud to say that I've been married for 19 years. So I think I need my flowers, right, to give this advice to you. First of all, the most important thing is while you are waiting for a spouse, while you are waiting,
Thank you.
I'm praying. Prepare yourself. Marriage is one institution that nobody prepares you for. You just go in. The church is trying, you go for marriage classes, but this is a lifetime investment or lifetime plan. So prepare, don't just go, read books on marriage, pray, prepare yourself, know what you want, and then begin to work towards that. But remember, marry your friend. Make sure it's someone that is a friend. You can be in love, whatever, whatever, but when you marry your friend, the journey is much, much easier. Whether there's money, there's no money. Whether there's food, there's no food. Whether there are problems, there's no problem. Your friend will always be your friend. You laugh over the little things and then you make up over the little things. So when you are married to your friend, parenting becomes easier because your friend will be helpful. Your friend will understand you. Your friend will know when it's time to share the tax. Your friend will know when to keep traditions aside and be realistic. Your friend will know how
Yes,
to manage you so that you don't
I
have
agree.
a bad face in front of your in-laws. Your friend will protect you from the wiles of the world. Your friend will advise you if you are going astray. And you too, while you are looking for a friend, also be a good friend because you cannot be asking for what you cannot give. So prepare yourself to be a good spouse, a good friend, a good mother. Read books on parenting. Don't just enter it like that and say I'm waiting for a man. While you are waiting, prepare thyself. Prepare. Preparation should meet opportunity. Be that person, right? If it's meals, learn how to cook them. If it's
Thank you so
scheduled
much.
in fact, I can go on and on and on and on. Thank you.
Thank you
Uh,
so much.
you're welcome.
Thank you. It's been it's been a night indeed. Okay,
Yeah,
if I heard her clearly, she said preparation, preparation. I'll keep saying it over and over. You know, a lot of unmarried and expectant parents do not think it is important to prepare for
yeah.
parenting. Oh, okay, so a
Mm,
lot of times we focus on us on our relationships with our maybe our spouses, and we
mm,
forget the children that we're expecting, even if they
yeah,
are not here. So thank you, Dr. Lynn. I think we have been able to understand how to identify our identities, right? How to rediscover it, how to if we have not discovered it, how to discover it, and if we have, maybe we could rediscover, and then we have learned how to nurture. I hope we all got it because I'm really this evening is a blessing to me already. Thank you,
thank you.
Dr. Lynn. Thank you
Thank you
so much
so
for
much.
joining me. I appreciate your presence here. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
everyone does. I've seen a lot of comments. I've seen a lot of comments. Thank you, Mom. I'm
Thank you.
glad that you joined us today. There's so much value, Dr. Lynn. So
Mm,
many comments appreciating you for being here today. We do not take
thank
it for
you.
granted. We do not take it lightly.
Thank you.
Everyone, this challenge continues tomorrow. Remember, it's for 31 days. So tomorrow we'll take on day 13. Thank you so much, everyone, for
Thank you
joining
so
me. I
much.
appreciate you all. I hope to see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh my God.